gonna take you back to the past to play some shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
It's time to go back to the past again. Remember when I was the angry Nintendo nerd, reliving the frustrating games from my youth?
Ass! Fuck!
Well, not much has changed, but I was never really satisfied with my older videos. I've always wanted to go back and complete them the way I originally intended. The McKids video, for example, I felt like there should have been a dancing scene with Ronald McDonald, Grimace and the Hamburglar, and Dracula, and Skeletor. I'd also like to go back to the original negatives, clean them up, make them look good as shit, and give them some new enhancements.
Sonic Boom! Sonic Boom!
In the Friday the 13th video, I shot Jason Voorhees in the head.
No good piece of...
That made me look like a cold-blooded killer. I always felt Jason should have shot first.
Fucking game, you no good piece of...
I'm just kidding. I have no intentions of changing my older videos like that. But with all seriousness, some of the games I've done, I could have covered them a little better. Mainly the Back to the Future games. But first, let's take a look at some of the other games that I could have done better justice. For example, Top Gun. Even the title card could have used some extra work. Look how shitty that is. Oh, okay. Well, that's way better. I only played through half the game, and considering how short it is, I really wish I would have shown the ending. The final target is a space shuttle. That didn't even happen in the movie. Why are we destroying a space shuttle? Can't let those fuckers go to space. Oh, come on. Do I really have to land the plane one more time? Couldn't the game just end right there? I accomplished the goal. Who cares if I crash the plane? We'll just say it's a suicide mission. A lot of people questioned why I had so much difficulty trying to land the plane, so let me explain it better. Pushing down makes you go up, and up makes you go down. For flying games, that's standard, but the on-screen instructions don't make it clear what they're telling you to do. Does up mean push up, or push down the fly up? Speed up? Okay, now it's saying up, up, so is it still telling me to speed up, or fly up? Or no, I'm a fucking dipshit. It says right there, the altitude and speed. So just follow the numbers. Don't pay attention to the flashing instructions. You can tell that thing to go fuck its face. I'm gonna land this thing. Oh yeah, I'm finally gonna land the plane. This time, I'm gonna do it for real. Oh, I got it. I got the speed right, but the altitude's off. Oh, I'm going too fast. Hey, if anybody sees that plane, can you let me know? Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I already mentioned the part where you go into the nightclub and find Jessica Rabbit's phone number. It's an actual 800 number that you're supposed to call. Back then, if you called the number, you would have heard a recording telling you some game tips. How did I resist not calling that number for real? Let's call it and see if it still works.
No credit card? Try Collect Callback. Dial 1215 Sex Talk and we'll call you right back, connecting you to hot live talk with horny students, housewives, and working girls. That's 1215 SEX.
Wow, the number has definitely changed. And we now have a Nintendo game that gives a phone number to a sex hotline. That is fucking awesome. And what about Judge Doom? He's one of the most difficult bosses in video game history, and I barely said a damn thing about him. Anytime Doom hits you, it takes a great deal of damage, but when you hit him, it doesn't do much. With such a huge assortment of weapons, you'd think that there would be one that inflicts more damage on him. But nope, he has no weakness. All you can do is punch, punch, punch. It may seem easier than it looks, but Doom has no clear pattern. You gotta get lucky and just get him in the right rhythm so you can keep hitting him. Once you knock him down, you think it's all over. But no, you gotta pick up the dip cannon. But before you can use it, you have to select it. Like, no shit, why wouldn't I want it selected? The worst part is that now Judge Doom kills you with one hit. It doesn't matter how full your health is. Anyone's natural reaction is to tap the button, but that won't get you far. You have to know to hold down the button, and only that way can you beat him. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With this episode, everybody seems to be happy with it. That's fine with me, but it could have gone on much further. I only showed the first 3 levels, just barely. I mentioned the tough jumps in the sewer, but this one in particular I've always obsessed over. Now, I gotta pay my respects. This fucking jump. As a kid, I spent hours on this part, and in 20-something years, it hasn't gotten any easier. It's all because of this stupid platform. They don't give you any room to make the jump. Whenever you fall, the water current takes you back out to the street. Then, you have to go all the way back through the building before you can even get a chance to try again. Ugh, I hate this. And don't tell me you can just fucking walk over it. You can try creeping up on the edge and giving a light tap, or you can forcefully jump as hard as you can. You'll never make it, not without a lot of luck. The Technodrome, jeez, anybody who's made it this far knows what I'm talking about. Before you can even fight the Technodrome, you gotta find it first. You go in these underground caves fighting the toughest enemies yet. They jump all over the place, throw lots of shit, and they're too stubborn to die. At the end of the cave, you'll either find the Technodrome or an empty room. So it's back out the way you came. Each of these caves, you're guaranteed to lose one turtle. By the time you eventually find which cave has the Technodrome, you're lucky if you have any resources left. You're beat to hell, and here comes this big mecha giant shooting lightning, firing bullets, and catapulting an infinite army of foot soldiers. Sometimes there's so much shit on the screen, the game goes to slow motion. Don't you love it when Nintendo games do that? I have managed to beat the Technodrome. After that, you go inside. Wow, this Technodrome is huge. It didn't look that big on the outside. I'm down to one last continue here. I'm not gonna make it. Oh no! Ah, fuck. Now, of course, everybody's got to understand, just because I'm going back to some of the games I've already done, that doesn't mean I'm running out of games. Just look back there. Look at all these fucking games. I got plenty to work with. But now, it's time for the main event. Hey, I'm having deja vu here. It's time to go back to the past, to go back to the Future. I revisited this miserable shit turd from my childhood, and now it's time to revisit my revisiting of it. I wasn't satisfied with my incomplete review of it and my lack of attention to the sequels. I guess you could say I was a slacker. Even the shirt I was wearing was all wrinkled. I don't know what the hell happened to it, but even worse, I just threw it on and didn't even take time to button it. I already mentioned how the game has nothing to do with the movie. You're collecting clocks, throwing bowling balls, and dodging bees and other bizarre things. One thing I didn't elaborate on before is how Marty has some serious problem with his legs where he can't stop walking. You think this is a goddamn flying game because you can't stop. Imagine the problems Marty must go through on a daily basis, being cursed to walk for all eternity. Imagine trying to order at a fast food restaurant, or any restaurant. Imagine going to work, or trying to use a bathroom, or fly on a plane. He can only stand still when he's behind a counter at a cafe throwing milkshakes. Anybody who's played this cafe stage knows how unforgiving it is, and I've talked about it already. But wouldn't you like to know what the rest of the game is like? Do we ever see Doc Brown, or does the DeLorean ever make an appearance? Or any of the other things from the movie? Let's find out. The rest of the street stages are all the same, except they change the color. No effort, time is money, don't design another stage, just change the color, and kids will think it's different. Do they think we're idiots? Then we come to an empty classroom where Lorraine, I guess, is shooting hearts at Marty. What is he, the teacher all of a sudden? And what's he catching hearts for? I suppose it's like in the movie where Lorraine has a crush on Marty, but that's his mom, so he's trying not to let that happen. Why isn't he avoiding the hearts then? Oh, I see. I guess he's catching them in a book or something? It's the most literal interpretation of a movie. It's about time, so let's have clocks. It's about romance, let's have hearts. Was this game designed by a human being, or did they just feed the movie into a computer to process and then shit out this nonsensical fuck poop? Once again, like the cafe stage, you have to score at least 50 points. Then it's on to more walking stages, and after that, it's the Enchantment Under the Sea dance where Marty plays guitar. What do? You have to catch musical notes. What more did you expect? I'll tell you one thing, it's certainly no Guitar Hero or Rock Band. Why does Marty play the guitar like a stand-up bass the whole time? Why is he wearing a boiler suit? I guess the same reason he's wearing a black muscle shirt. Where's the red jacket or the suit? Couldn't they have gotten Marty to look anything like he did in the films? And what about the music? Wouldn't this have been an opportune time to hear Earth Angel or Johnny Be Good? Okay, wait a minute. It is Johnny Be Good. On crack. If they can make the DuckTales theme sound awesome in 8-bit, why not this? At least you get some different music for once. Next, more walking. And finally, the DeLorean. Yes, the DeLorean makes an appearance after all. This is supposed to be the scene where Marty's trying to get back to the future. The streets of Hill Valley are getting slammed with repeated lightning strikes. All you have to do here is dodge the lightning. That's all. Why are you dodging lightning anyway? Isn't Marty trying to get the lightning to hit the DeLorean to generate the 1.21 gigawatts and send them back to 1985? Isn't that the whole fucking idea of the movie? Anyway, that's Back to the Future NES. No special ending. Nothing. Fuck that music. Well, now that we've seen the whole game, we can conclude that it has some relation to the movie, but it doesn't have any of the familiar music cues. And don't tell me it was some kind of licensing issue, like they were able to license the movie, but not the music that belongs with that movie that we all recognize. No Back to the Future theme, no Power of Love, no Back in Time, no Johnny Be Good. Well, fuck this! Next came Back to the Future 2 and 3. This one has the Back in Time song, or at least part of it. And the intro scenes follow the movie quite well. But then the game starts, and you see all these dinosaurs, snails, and runaway trash cans. What the hell happened here? It couldn't possibly be any more different from the film. In this timeline, when Biff brought the Sports Almanac to 1955, it somehow created a world full of piranha plants, killer clouds, and evil Martys. I like how it says Back to the Future on the bottom of the screen, just to remind you what you're playing. Otherwise, you'd forget it has anything to do with Back to the Future. When I first reviewed this game, I was being a shithead. I never explained how it's played. And that's where things get really interesting. You're supposed to collect 30 items and bring them all back to their rightful places and times. You find the items behind locked doors. To unlock the doors, you need to find the keys, which are found by killing random enemies. But the keys don't sit still. They fly off the screen the second they appear. Usually, you're not expecting the key, so you might not catch it. Once the key's gone, it doesn't return, not unless you exit the level and come back. Even when you get a key, most of the doors don't let you in. I don't know the reason for this, but when you do find the right door, you'll get an item. But you don't get it right away. You have to do some sort of mini game. They're all different, but the goal is the same, to collect all the clocks. How original. After all that bullshit, you finally get the item, and now you have to find where to take it. I know where the game designers can take it, but that's another story. You have to find another room that's hidden somewhere obscure, like under a manhole or inside a pipe. Once you find this room, you think that's it. You return the item and then you're off for the next one. But no, it's not over yet. You have to solve a puzzle, a scrambled word. You select the object from your inventory that corresponds with the scrambled word. Like if I have a milkshake, I have to look at the word and think, is that milkshake? Well, it doesn't look like it. What if it's supposed to be root beer float? How would I know what they're calling it? If this is the wrong room and that word doesn't belong to the object, then you have to leave the room. If you try selecting the item, you will lose that item and have to go get it all over again. It's even more confusing that the objects in the puzzle rooms are never in the same place or time. You have to use the DeLorean to travel to the different time zones. And there's 30 of them. 30 items. How could it be any worse? Well, guess what? There's no save feature. Who came up with this? We're not even allowed to turn off our Nintendo? We have to beat the whole game in one clean shot? Don't be so fuck. I played for 2 hours straight without returning a single item. I ran from one side of the board to the next, traveled to different time periods, and searched every last inch. I just don't know where I'm supposed to go. It's hard to even keep track of where you've been. After you've found and returned the 30 items, you're only halfway through. You still have part 3 to deal with. Jeez, I could do something much more productive with my time. I could learn a new foreign language. I could study microbiology. I could train Siberian tigers. Instead, I'm degenerating my brain cells into 8-bit pixels. At least you can skip to part 3 with a code. On the title screen, hold B and select, then unscramble another word. If you know the code, you probably know the word. Why does everything have to be so cryptic? Why did LJN have to make every NES movie adaptation? Couldn't they have given somebody else a try? No, they wanted to incorporate the entire spectrum of awfulness. Purple for putrid gameplay, blue for bad musical abominations, green for graphical farts and garlic, yellow for piss-poor lack of loyalty to source material, orange for aren't you a fucking idiot, and red for high-stress, anger-inducing masochism. Put that all together, you got all the colors of the shit rainbow. Hooray, LJN. I'm fucking pissed enough, but now I got one more game, Back to the Future 3 on Sega Genesis. Believe it or not, it has the Back to the Future theme, but it sounds like ass. What a piece of shit. Naturally, the graphics are a big step up, going over to a 16-bit console, and it represents the film far better than the Nintendo games. But there's one fatal flaw: the difficulty. You're Doc Brown on a horse trying to save Clara from going into the ravine. Unfortunately, the ground is littered with crates and other random obstacles, and the air is filled with birds, tomahawks, and all kinds of projectiles. You get hit once, it knocks you off your horse, costing you precious time. If you fall only a few times, you have to start over. Hazards come without any warning. The human brain cannot react as fast as this game demands. It's like a memory test. The only way to get by is to remember the whole level.
Jump! Jump again! Duck! Shoot! Fuck! You fucking processing! Stop being so blast!
It's really hard to distinguish which objects are hazards and which are just there for decoration, like this underwear. This is a perfect example of a game that starts out way too hard. It's only the first level and I can't beat it! From what I understand, there's only 4 levels. For a Sega Genesis game, that's pathetic. I guess they were too lazy to design a longer game, so they just made it more difficult so it'd take longer to beat, that's all!
Oh, that fucking song. I am so sick of hearing that. Next time I hear Ghost Riders in the Sky, I'm gonna think about going 100 miles per hour on a horse, jumping crates and getting shot at and shit. Oh my god. 3 Back to the Future games. And they're all fucking horrible. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's right. Super Back to the Future 2 on the Super Famicom. This game must have been so bad, it didn't even get an international release. I guess I'll give it a try. Back to the Future game? Somebody made a good Back to the Future game? And it was only in Japan? What the fuck is wrong with this fucking world? We get these shitty games, but not that one? Like, what the hell? Why would you do that? It's good. I mean, it's not great, but it's the best goddamn Back to the Future game I ever played. It's actually a game. Why bury the gem and dig up the turd? Innocent people have suffered through these fucking fuck heaps. People have developed fuckatitis from this shit. People have gone on to live horrible lives, kicking babies in the balls. If you would have went back in time and said to people, hey, there's a good Back to the Future game. Put this shit down and go to Japan. They would have looked at you like you're telling them to go teabag a goat on the surface of Mars. Well, thank you for taking a fucking shit on us all. Well, hope you enjoyed my Nintendo days revisited. Oh, and guess what? Yeah, I hate sentences that begin with that. Guess what? Because you know it's never a good thing. But the fact is, I have one more game to revisit. I don't want to say what it is, let alone even play it. But I'm thinking about it.